What's up everyone, welcome to Kaizer Channel. Today we'll be reviewing this, the long-awaited Sword Striker pack. This pack is the final pack out of the 3 that the strike mainly uses in the anime. So I'm very excited to review this, and we can finally put all 3 packs together to form the perfect strike, which I'll be showing you in the end of the video. Also, I would like to point out that it is stated in the box that there is actually no diecast is used in this product, just in case anyone is wondering. Alright, without wasting any more time, let's get started. So coming right out of the box is the first layer. Now, starting from the top left corner, we have is the backpack, which basically consists of the battery, and then the thruster, and also the sword holder, respectively, going in that order. And then in the center, you have is the converter for the astray. Basically, you can put the sword backpack onto this piece, and then you can connect this piece onto the astray main body. And that's for that. And then next to it, it's the arm, which is basically for the astray to connect the shoulder piece to the backpack. And then on the far right, you have is the shoulder piece. And on top of that, you have is the beam effect for the boomerang piece. And then right there in the center, you have the iconic sword. And at the bottom, you have the beam effect, that's for the sword as well. And then on the bottom right corner, you have is the shield / the firing hook. And on top of that, you have 2 pieces. Basically, it's for connecting it to the strike and also to the astray arm. And that's it with the first layer. And here we have is the second layer. Now the second layer consists of pretty simple things. You got all these gray pieces that you can put together as a mini stand for the sword pack to mount onto it when it's not equipped onto the strike. Now you might have seen this piece fairly similar with the other packs as well. That's because it is, and we'll get to see more of it when we put everything together with the other packs. Alright, let's take them out and check them out one by one. Here you have laid out in front of you are the parts for the Sword Striker, excluding the beam effects. Now all of them actually do have their official name in German, and as I don't speak German, so I'm not going to even try to pronunciate, as I'm definitely going to butcher them. So let's take a look on them one by one on their looks. First, to start off with, is the battery pack. It is overall white with a gray for the other parts. This battery pack looks very similar to the one that's at the back of the Launcher Strike cannon, if not the same. For the sword holder, it's actually pretty simple. It's just one gray holder and with a dark gray movable connecting arms, so there's actually nothing special here. As for the backpack, you have the overall gray and then a blue circle at the back piece, with the thruster part being gold at the bottom. You'll also notice that there's actually 2 connector holes that's in lighter color, one on each side, for putting the battery pack and also the sword holder together. Next we have is the shoulder piece. The coloring is just like it is in the anime. Its overall is in a light blue while the darker blue is in metallic. Aside from the coloring, there's have also added much more details to it, like the pipes near the center, making it look so much better. Not to mention the redesign of the boomerang weapon, that looks really sick. Definitely love the redesign here. Also, unlike the Launcher Strike shoulder piece, this Sword Striker piece actually is the same both front and back. And some of you already know exactly what I meant by this. It's that you can actually place this on the right side of the strike and it will look perfectly fine. Here we have is the shield / grappling hook. Overall, the color scheme is the same as the shoulder piece, but the cylinder piece at the center is a metallic black. Also, it actually have 2 additional blade-like design, which are in metallic silver color. Last but not least is the sword itself. The coloring majority is the same with the other piece, except that you have this gray on the handle with a silver pipe running along the 2 white pieces that's on the handle. The center part is so much more detailed than it is in the anime, and you have the Sword Striker decals at the center as well. Not to mention that at the tip of the sword is a blade-like shape with metallic silver coloring. And that's it with the look. Let's put them on to the strike and check out its gimmick. Putting it on, it's very simple. Just put the battery and also the sword holder together onto the backpack and then put it onto the strike. As for the shield, make sure you put the correct shield joint onto the shield and connect it to the arms, as this set actually comes with one for the strike and one for the astray. As for the shoulder piece, open the top of the armor up and also the metal frame on the strike, then slide the piece inside the strike metal frame and locks it in. Then close the top shoulder armor and you have the shoulder piece connected. Now, unlike the launcher one where you can just put it on top of the shoulder, here is actually much more sophisticated, and it's the very first time that we've seen that they make good use of the metal frame on the strike shoulder. Honestly, I've always wondered why the strike has that shoulder frame gimmicks when even the launcher shoulder piece doesn't even use it, but we finally have an answer to that. Last, slide the sword onto the holder along the lines to the holes to lock it in place, and that's it. I must say it looks absolutely incredible. As of now, I personally think this looks so much better than the launcher pack. But then again, I might be biased since I love swords so much. As for the gimmicks, the battery pack can actually open up revealing the inside, and also you can actually unlock it to take out the entire battery out, just like the launcher one. Very nice here. The sword holder can be moved thanks to the movable arm next to it to adjust to a particular angle that you wish for. The backpack itself doesn't have any movable gimmicks, but there's actually a hidden one which I'll get into a bit later. As for the shoulder, the front and back piece can move a little bit out, and the side flap can be flipped up to 90 degrees. For the boomerang weapon, the entire top can actually rotate 360 if Strike's head wasn't blocking the way. The blade part can also rotate downwards for the Strike to easily grab onto it. Obviously, you can disconnect from the shoulder piece and act as a weapon, and also add the beam effect onto it. Just a note here though, there's actually two beam effects that looks very similar to each other, so make sure that you connect to the correct one. The boomerang effect is the curve on the tip, and the connecting section is a slanted, unlike the other one. As for the shield, the bottom half can be opened up like a claw, but this is as far as it can go in terms of angle, which can actually open up a little more on the here, but this is what we got. Not to mention that you can actually completely disconnect from the top and connect to a wire that comes with it to make it look like it's firing out. As for the sword, you can actually extend the length of it by pulling it out, very similar to the launcher as well. And there's actually two beam effects that goes with it, one long and one short. At the bottom of the handle, you can actually place the other beam effect as well, which looks absolutely cool in this one. As for the stand, there's actually not much to it. It's just basically completes the other set with the launcher set. So I'm going to show that to you later on. Just like the launcher pack, this set also can be equipped onto the Astray with the help of the converter. Although it does look a bit better than the launcher set, it still doesn't look too great on the Astray in my opinion. One final but probably the most critical gimmick on this piece is that the ability to hold two swords. What I meant by this is that not just only holding the two swords by hand, but the backpack can actually hold two swords, and officially there's actually two forms to it. So in order to show you guys, I actually borrowed my brother's set to make this happen. To do this, you must unlock the two hidden connector joint by removing the cover on each side. First form is that you have the single battery pack and a sword holder on the left while the other holder is on the right, so that you have two swords, one on each side. The other form is that you have two battery packs on the left side and two sword holder on the right. Now technically for this second form, you can actually continue to extend the battery pack and also the holder infinitely. If any one of you can actually show me just how much you can put onto the Strike and can stand on its own, then let me know because I'm very curious to know how that would look. As for myself, I've made my own version by removing the battery pack completely so it's aligned symmetrically on both sides. And this is what I call the twin sword striker. And that's it with the review. Before we go into the perfect strike, here's my conclusion of what do I think about this piece. This piece is a really great piece. The redesign of it all is amazing. Not to mention the sword has the extendable gimmicks just like the launcher does. Also, it has these tools to help you pull out those mini parts for swapping out the holders, which honestly really helps. But the most incredible part is that it actually has two hidden gimmicks of mounting two swords, so Bandai actually had this design from the very beginning and we were not told about this. If only they have actually hinted somewhere that it can be done, then I would definitely have pre-ordered it too instead of one set. So that's a very bad marketing skills on the Bandai's part. So there is a minor issue in that the little pins that comes with it on the backpack, you actually have some difficulties to pull them out when you're switching sides to it. And even with the help of the tools that it came with, you might still encounter this issue. Now you can use your own tools that you use for home, but do make sure that you cushion it with tissues or a cloth before you actually clamp on that and pull it out. Just a note on that one. Nevertheless, it's still a very great piece, and I'll definitely rate it a 10 out of 10. And I will definitely suggest you to get 2 if you have a chance to. Here we have put all 3 packs onto the mini stand, and it absolutely looks great. The herring-like feel to it, it's just incredible. And as of now, there's actually no other metal build Gundam that has something like this, so definitely this is one option to display as. Now here is the perfect strike, and man does it look incredible. Yes, this isn't exactly the perfect strike, as technically there's actually more to it than this, but this is as close as we can get officially in the metal build. Both the launcher and sword, I purposely didn't extend them because I don't want to put too much pressure on the elbow to have it loose. Unless you have something to support the weapons, otherwise I don't suggest you to extend it as well. So with this, one issue right now is that both weapons must be held by hand, and there's actually nowhere for you to store the weapons. And I get this question a lot from viewers. So what do? There is actually technically a method, although it's not very recommended, but hear me out. First, you must have both of these converters to make this happen. The Astray converter is found in both the launcher and swordstriker pack, so don't worry about it, you have this to start off with. While the strike converter is found in the red frame Kai alternate version and blue frame second revised, and also the color vault option set, so you can get one from either one. First, equip the Astray converter to the OWL backpack first, and then connect the holder to the strike converter, and then equip to the strike. Last, connect the 2 converter together, and that's it. Although technically this can be done, it's definitely not recommended, since the major issue with this method is that this is actually forcefully put together, as both of the converter were not intended to be connected to each other, so they are actually barely hanging on. So even the slightest touch will cause it to fall out. So unless Bandai comes up with an official Perfect Strike pack, otherwise you can only choose between this and holding the weapons on hand. And that's how you store the weapons onto the backpack. And if you still have any further questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will be happy to answer your questions. And that's it with today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and find it useful. Do support me by hitting that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas and thank you for watching.